everybody. Welcome back to Bunky's Workshop. I hope you're all having a great day. I just got this in and I had the quick story to tell you. So, one day Matthew and I were at Sam's Club and we just happened to be looking at air fryers and I just couldn't make up my mind whether I wanted one or not. And he's like, oh, just buy the thing. So he just grabs one, puts it in the cart. We brought it home and I loved it. That thing was awesome. I mean, I made crab cakes and I've made cookies in there. I've made a cake in there and cornbread, fried chicken. I mean, it's endless of what you can do in there. Loved it. So the other night we're making dinner. I'm making fried chicken. I take out the first batch because I can only fit about 6 pieces of thighs in there at a time. Take out the first 6 pieces, put in the next 6 pieces, put the drawer in, hit start, and it ran for about 5 minutes and blew up. Right in the middle of my second batch of chicken. So I couldn't get it up and running again, so I took it, put it on a sheet, put it in the oven, and finished it in there. I tore that thing apart to come to find out that the thermostat had blown and the heating coil in the top was burnt out. So I looked at the receipt because Matthew saves all the receipts and it was 3 years old. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know how long these things last. It was a XL Power Plus, I think it was called. I think it's what it was called. Anyways, it's out in the trash. So I loved it. It was great. But this gives me an opportunity to find something new. So after about a week of online, looking at all kinds of YouTube videos and Consumers Report and all that, I came across this one and ordered it Amazon. And here it is. Now, let me tell you something I found out. Be careful when you're buying these toaster ovens, microwaves, and air fryers. So, a lot of them will have forever chemicals in them. Even though if you do a burn off before you use it, it still could be in the trays and things like that. So, because when I was going through all these different air fryers and ovens and so forth, I noticed there was a lot of that in there in the small print, whether this contains, I think it's PFAs or whatever they are, forever chemicals, and some that do not. And if you look under that product, some companies will tell you that from this year to this year has the chemicals, and from this year to this year was built without the chemicals. Now, yes, it might cost you a little bit more when they do that to go from a standard to a non-chemical thing. In this case, it did. So this particular model and year was when they switched over to the non-forever chemicals in it. But I'm still going to do a burn off in it, which that means I'm going to put it on the highest temperature and run it for 10 or 15 minutes and do its thing. Anyways, let's unbox this. This is the, let me find the front of it, Nuwave Brio 15.5. So it is a 15.5 quart air fryer. So it's bigger than what I had because the other one was a Power XL. You know, it has the drawer, which I loved. The only thing I didn't like is because of the drawer, everything was down inside, which was good for splatter and all that. But trying to scoop something out of there sometimes was hard, like even doing the fried chicken. Trying to scoop them out was sometimes not an easy thing. Sometimes when you do a cake or some muffins or whatever in there, trying to get in there without burning your wrists on the edges was hard. But because it cooked and cooked so well and so fast, I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping this will be the same, but better. So, oh, behind here, if you saw the video on this clock, it is still, well, I need to rewind it. It has been running perfectly with no trouble, so all I have to do now is put the face back on it, give it another wax, and I don't know what to do with it. You have an idea? I don't know what to do with it. It was just a good project for me. So right on the top is a booklet. Put my glasses on. What do we got? Warning, do not place this unit on or near a hot gas burner, electric burner, or in a heated oven or on a stove top. So, voila, don't do it. It is perfectly normal for your new unit to produce a heated plastic smell when used for the very first time. This will go away after the first few uses. So what I read was they put like an oil coating, a protected coating, because they don't know how long these are going to be in storage in a store or warehouse, and they don't want them to rust or whatever. So you got to kind of burn that off. It is perfectly normal for your new unit to produce heated plastic. Okay, it's the same thing. If you feel you might have a problem with your unit, call customer service. Nuwave Brio 15.5 quart air fryer, and here's what it should look like. And this says it was done on 5/23/24. Made in China, designed and developed in the USA. Vernon Hills, Illinois. Isn't that kind of sad? Well, I'm not going to get into that. That could be political. But anyways, what do we have in here? General use. How to get started. How to clean. How to put it together. It also has a onboard rotisserie system. So that will be good. How to use your racks. When to use the racks. What level to put them on. But yeah, it's just general use. So my plan is, I have made up a batch for crab cakes. It's in the refrigerator now. And that's the first thing I'm going to cook in here is crab cakes. Because to believe it or not, when we bought the Power XL, that's the first thing I did in there. And when they came out as good as they did, as fast as they did, then I was hooked. So, and they have a nice booklet. Okay. 46 easy to follow recipes. Hey, apple pie. And this is all done in color. Woo-hoo! They put a little bit of money into a really nice booklet. Berry cheesecake egg rolls. Anything that has cheesecake in it's got to be delicious. But that's what it looks like. Yummy. Apple pie egg rolls. Pineapple croissants. How to do dehydration. So it's a dehydrator. Pasta bakes, air fried tortilla chips, rotisserie vegetables, rotisserie swordfish, seafood, chicken. I love doing fried chicken in this thing because I do everything exactly the same like I was going to deep fry it, except I do it in the air fryer and I take a little quick spray on the top with some Pam spray, and when it fries, it comes out so crispy and juicy, and you don't have all that oil. So anyway, what is this? Oh, okay. How to do quick and fun frozen recipes. Tells you how to do it, how long to do it, like a pot pie, 350 degrees, middle level, 16 minutes. Mozzarella sticks, onion rings, pork egg rolls, chicken tenders. So it's a quick guide on how to take care of or how to do some of those quick frozen things. pizza bites, chicken breast, burritos, tater tots, sweet potato fries. Okay. So in here is just a ton of information. If you want to know approximately how to cook something, it tells you how to do it. That's pretty cool. And on the back, it has 100 presets. So it tells you all about the presets. So that is cool. And how am I going to get this out of here without breaking it? So I guess I'll just tilt it on its side and slide her out. Definitely got some weight to it. And we're going to use this as a table. Are we good? We're good. All right. Oh. It has some weight to it. So on the top here, thank you for your purchase. Register by using this code. So that'll make it easy to register. Please, people, whenever you buy something new, register it. Matthew has been getting into all these ninja things, like Ninja Thirsty. He loves that thing. I need to do a video on that. And the Ninja frozen ice cream maker. Loves that thing. That's another thing I need to do a video on. But at one point, his Ninja Thirsty stopped working, and I called them. They put me on video, Zoom video, diagnosed it, realized it was broken, and sent me a brand new, and I got it in 2 days. Is that awesome? Not many companies stand behind their products. So, here we go. Okay. So here's what the back of it looks like. So you got your vent, which it says something, so we're going to have to read it. Caution, hot air. So we have our plug. Standard plug. And what does it say here? Nuwave Brio 15.5 quart air fryer. Made in China, serial number 0N2406-2555D. Household use only. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 1800 watts. Model number, that is so hard to read. I'm sure it's on here. 38021 is the model number. Okay, let's look at the front together. I'll put this on an angle. So it says, attention, please remove this label prior to use. Okay. That was quick and easy. Now it has this tape. I hope this tape comes off without leaving a nasty, sticky. Oh, that one did. So like I said, the old one was a drawer you pulled in and out, right? And you had to go down in it. I got this one because it was a little bit bigger and you can open it and pull things out from the front. I'm hoping I made the right decision. Very nice door though. Okay. So what is this? So it looks like right off the bat, we have a box attached to one of the air fry racks. Guess we're going to find out why. And what do we have in here? So this is the vegetable rack. You squeeze this to open it up, and you can put vegetables. I've seen people where they put sausage in here, breakfast sausage or dinner sausage, and put it on the rotisserie. Comes with a probe, so if you're doing a roast or a chicken or whatever you want, and it's not on the rotisserie, you have a probe that can tell you the temperature without opening and closing the front. So that is nice. And you got your rotisserie set. There you go. So I think this can hold up to a 5 or 6 pound, I'll double check. I think they said a 5 pound chicken or turkey. That is your rotisserie spit. And then you have all your racks that come in here for air frying. This says, only use this highest slot level, 3 for hydrating foods. So this particular rack is used for dehydrating. Then it looks like you got your regular rack that has a lip around it. And that looks like it is for air frying. Now notice that this is curved because the back here is curved, all right, which is good for your rotisserie, okay? And then we have a regular non-stick, looks like, pan. That's kind of heavy duty, I like that. And then what do we have here? Oh, this is the griddle. I want to see how this, so this is textured with the holes so that you can do hamburgers and steaks and fish. It's a nice grill. That's pretty heavy duty. That's nice. All right, so this is your pan, which I believe could be your drip pan. Then you have your air fryer. And then this is the one for the very top. So if you were doing dehydrate, that's what you would use. And then you also have your, whoops. There you go. Which that is nice. And this has a very bright light in it. And tonight we're going to be doing our crab cake. So hopefully I can get this all set up and ready to go. And the first thing that we're going to cook will be the crab cakes. So I kind of want to see how this will work with the rotisserie. So it looks like it goes in with this side in. Yep. So there's your rotisserie. Nice. Your heating element is at the top. That's something else. I saw a couple of them that had the fan on the side or the back. And people kind of complained about that because their food was hot on one side and not as hot on the other. And if it was in the back, their food was browning in the rear. So I'm kind of hoping, hey, I like that. Huh. All right, so I wonder if this will even reach my outlet. I'm not really going to, really run it. But I do want to, oh, I heard some power. We got the power. So the light, so that lights up nicely. You can turn the light on and off inside. Door open, door closed. 1800 watts. You could do a preheat, sear, grill, warm. You can adjust what watt you want. You can do 700, 1500, or 1800. Rotisserie, grill, warm, sear. Menu, you got your probe, your temperature, your time. So, what happens if we just did preheat? Wow. So that's preheat on 700. Wow, all right. Still don't have a smell, but so here's what I noticed. Before they put this particular model out, a lot of these things, this and some of these things were non-stick and were coated, and they said had forever chemicals on them. So each time they got hot, they would release these chemicals, and they said it's bad for your health. Online, this particular model at this year was revamped, and they do not have the forever chemicals on it. And I know right now, I just had it on, I was waiting for some type of a smell, and it didn't get that hot. It's warm in there already, but I can't wait to use it. Because I will be using the trip pan, which I'll be putting foil in there to protect it. And I will be using this probably on that level. I can't wait. So I just want to know how I'm going to be able to keep this clean. It is going to be nice to have the window and the light so that I can keep an eye on what's going on in there. That was the other thing I didn't like about the drawer, the Power XL, was every time you want to check on what was in there, you had to open it, let the heat out to check it, and then restart it. It will be nice to do the fried chicken or a roast or whatever you want. Here's the outlet for the probe. Where is it at? Here it is. So that I can leave it in there. I can keep an eye on it with the light, but yet with the probe, you can put the probe in right here. Put this in the meat inside. Close this, and it'll tell you. So that I won't have to open and close each and every time. So that is cool. So your power on and off, your watts, 700, 1500, 1800, rotisserie, Now this says stage 1, 5, so that must be what's in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's telling you what level you're at. Menu. Huh. I'm going to have to read up on here and tell you how it's going. And you get to do your temperature. So I guess that's your time. Huh. We're going to have a learning curve here. And I can't wait to use it. I'm sure I won't be using all that's offered in here. Because we do fried chicken. We do seared salmon. We did mixed vegetables with a crust that we put on top with cheese. We've done that. We've done biscuits, cupcakes. We did the small cakes, French fries. I guess we kind of wore that thing out, and we used it all the time for 3 years. I just really thought it was going to last a little bit longer than 3 years. But we got that at Sam's Club. But here we are. I ordered this off of Amazon. And I guess I will try my best to remind myself to put a link down below that you guys can go online and check this out. But we're not done with this. I am going to put this in the kitchen. I'm going to crank it up on some high heat and let it run. I'm going to wash all this stuff and let it dry. And then when Matthew gets home later, he and I will be making some crab cakes. And we will bring you along with that, okay? So I'll see you later on tonight. Back in a minute. Okay, everybody, we just used it for dinner. And Matthew is here to explain what he thinks about the crab cakes and the sweet potato fries.
The first thing that is really obvious was that they were very crispy. And they came out piping hot. So both the crab cakes, crab cakes are a particular Maryland tradition. They are crab meat, blue crab meat, and usually like nice big chunks. And to keep them together in, a little muffin size, there's some filler, but we don't like too much because we like our crab meat. And so often they are fried in hot oil. They can be broiled or baked. And so with the air fryer, we wanted to get them crispy on the outside. So
crispy, not oily. So when you deep fry them or pan fry them, they come out very oily. In the air fryer, at least they come out together and nice and crispy on the outside, but not oily.
Exactly. And you want the inside to be soft and not mush, but certainly chewable, And they came out exactly that way. The sweet potato fries, they're just like fries, or for our British friends, chips. And we wanted them to be also crispy on the outside.
But in the Power XL, the one before here, they would come out brown on top and hot, but mushy. We could never get them crispy. With here, they came out cooked and crispy.
Not only cooked and crispy, but they would stick together. The mushiness from the previous air fryer would, often you'd pick up one and several would be sticking together. But there was some sticking together, but it was considerably less.
Much better. I think that all comes down to, because with the air holes, the mesh screen, air goes through it and cooks top and bottom, to where the Power XL was a bucket. So it would cook the top, but nothing really got underneath of it. So it didn't cook all the way, I guess.
And keeping to talk about the bucket, did you mention about this? I think is constructed superior to the previous one. The previous one had a drawer, which was a very deep drawer, and so all four sides were enclosed. And if you had something in it, it was often difficult to get it out. If you had a spatula or some sort of utility, then it would be hard to pry it out from the bottom.
Because your hands was always touching the inside and you would get burnt. It was hard to get the food out while it was still hot. So where with this, I just used my mitt, oven mitt, and I could pull it out and it was done. I could get to it easy without burning myself. And this is out of the way.
So I think that design construction is definitely superior. One thing we wish were not the case is you see that you have the 24-hour clock. So it says 1741, and that's just not our practice. We're just not used to that. And the research that I did online, it doesn't look like there's an option to turn it to a 12-hour clock and say 5:41 p.m. But
So you either have this or turn it off altogether.
yeah, and that's a particular irritant for Craig, that he just doesn't like the 24-hour time. And it looks like we'll probably be turning the clock off altogether, which is fine because on our stove and on our microwave, we have a 12-hour clock, so we won't need to look for this for the time. But that would, it's just an odd option, or I can't really even call it an option because you don't have another option, but that's just an odd construction for the particular makeup. I don't know why it's 24-hour. Maybe because Nuwave may be a more international company, and you know, we Americans may be rather parochial in that we only have 12 hours. It looks like pretty easy cleanup. We can certainly, there's some schmutz on the air, what would you call this, tray?
Yeah, so that's what the fries was on, and it came out pretty, nothing really stuck to it. Now, the tray where the crab cakes was on, the other way.
Oh,
Round goes in
I was
back.
wondering about that.
The crab cakes did stick to that, so I have it in the sink.
But when you soak it in a dish pan, I'm confident that that's going to remove the overwhelming majority of the residue, and I think it should make cleanup at least comparable, if not better than the previous cleanup we had. When things would, in the previous one with the bucket and so forth, there was a tray, and even though it was supposed to be non-stick, stuff would stick, and
And it was, again, hard to clean. I mean, because it was just, to me, it was like trying to get food out of a bucket, because that's what it was, a bucket. And it just was very hard to clean. Now, my question is going to be, when we do our fried chicken, all that grease that comes off, I guess it's all going to end up on the bottom, so into that tray. So there is a tray at the bottom, which I put aluminum foil on.
and you can see that there was residue that dripped off.
So I think, you know, we're going to see when we do our chicken how that works out. But right now, it was just a quick review on doing air fried sweet potatoes, which turned out great, and the crab cakes turned out great. So far, we're liking it. We will come back again and give you another review on it after we have a couple of weeks or months of use. Right now, if you gave this a score, 1 being horrible, 5 being great, what would that score be at this point?
Above 4, I would say even a 4 or 5. The shortcoming I see is this janky, well, it's not on now, but the 24-hour time. That was a particular irritant for Craig. Otherwise, in comparison to the previous one that we had, definitely the door, the removable trays, the soakable trays, and
You can cook multiple things at one time. The Power XL was one thing at a time. This has the trays, so you can cook like we cooked the sweet potatoes and we cooked the crab cakes all at the same time.
and it's multifunction. Rotisserie, it could be a dehydrator, and many other things. I think it's upwards of maybe a dozen functions. So I'm very impressed right now, and right now I would give it a strong recommendation. So certainly
So
a
for
4
right
5.
now, we're going to give it a 4.5.
I think so.
All right.
The only shortcoming is for me is this.
Okay.
Nothing else is obvious.
So right now our score for the Nuwave, this is a 15.5 quart
Larger than the previous one.
air fryer, and we're going to stick with 4.5 score. And when we come back, we will let you know if that's changed. So until then, have a great day. We'll be talking to you soon.
So don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and like or put a comment in.
Okay, talk to you soon.